Listen up. Every person has experienced that uncomfortable feeling when they realize they're being manipulated or controlled, not by some obvious villain, but often by someone they trust and care about. It's subtle, it's insidious, and it preys on our best intentions, our desire to help, to care, and to maintain harmony. But what if I told you there are hidden psychological patterns that some people use, sometimes consciously, sometimes not, to control conversations, decisions, and ultimately, your choices? What if I told you that your natural compassion and desire to be supportive can sometimes be used against you in ways you never expected? This isn't about creating conflict or suspicion. This is about empowering you with awareness. It's about understanding 7 common manipulation patterns that can turn confident people into passive participants in their own lives. More importantly, it's about giving you practical strategies to maintain healthy boundaries and self-respect. Because the cost of not recognizing these patterns isn't just uncomfortable conversations. It's your peace of mind, your personal autonomy, and your overall well-being. Are you ready to develop better relationship awareness? Are you ready to become more intentional about your responses? Then stay with me, because this conversation could transform how you handle challenging interpersonal situations. First, if you're committed to personal growth and healthier relationships, make sure to subscribe for more content like this. Pattern 1. Emotional overwhelm, the emotional flood. This pattern involves using intense emotional displays to derail logical discussions, evoke immediate sympathy, and redirect focus away from important issues that need addressing. Example: you're having a calm discussion about a legitimate concern, perhaps overspending or a broken commitment. As you present your perspective logically, the other person becomes extremely emotional. "How can you be so cruel to me?" they say through tears. "I try so hard and you just attack me." The conversation immediately shifts from the original issue to their emotional distress. Why this works? Most people are naturally programmed to respond to emotional distress. We want to comfort others and resolve their pain. When someone becomes extremely upset, it triggers our instinct to fix the situation, often by backing down from our original point. We fear appearing heartless or aggressive, so we abandon important conversations to stop the emotional display. Healthy response strategies. Recognize the pattern. When intense emotions arise during important discussions, pause before reacting. Take a breath and remind yourself, this might be deflection. Maintain your composure. Don't get drawn into the emotional state. Stay calm and centered. Your role isn't to fix their emotions, it's to address the original concern. Acknowledge without absorbing. You can recognize their feelings without taking responsibility for them. "I can see you're upset." Then redirect. "However, we still need to discuss this issue." Set boundaries. If emotions become too intense for productive conversation, suggest a break. Let's take some time and return to this when we can both discuss it calmly. Pattern 2. Reality distortion, the memory game. This involves consistently denying things they said or did, making you question your own memory and perception of events. The person creates confusion about what actually happened, making you increasingly reliant on their version of reality. Example: you address a specific comment that hurt you. "Remember when you said X? That really bothered me." They respond, "I never said that. You're imagining things. Why do you always twist my words?" Or, "You're being too sensitive." "I was joking. You're making a big deal out of nothing." Over time, you start questioning yourself. Did they really say it? Am I remembering wrong? Why this works? When someone we trust contradicts our memory, especially repeatedly, it creates cognitive dissonance. We want to believe they're not intentionally misleading us. This desire to understand and find rational explanations makes us vulnerable to accepting their version of events, gradually eroding our confidence in our own perceptions. Healthy response strategies. Document. Important conversations. For significant discussions, keep brief notes. This isn't paranoia, it's protecting your mental clarity. Use texts, emails, or quick notes you can reference later. Trust your instincts. Your internal compass often knows the truth. If something feels off, or you distinctly remember something, trust that feeling. Seek external perspective. When appropriate, discuss patterns with trusted, objective friends or family members. Their perspective can help you stay grounded in reality. State your truth. Calmly. Don't argue about different versions of events. Simply state, I remember it differently. And if they persist, disengage. We have different memories of this, so there's no point discussing it further. Pattern 3. Perpetual victim role. Always the innocent party. This involves consistently portraying oneself as the wronged party in every situation, deflecting responsibility and eliciting sympathy or special treatment. No matter what happens, it's never their fault. They're always a victim of circumstances or others' actions. Example, they constantly complain about work, friends, family, always painting themselves as misunderstood or unfairly treated. When you point out their role in a conflict, they respond with how everyone misunderstands them, how hard their life is, or how they're too nice and people take advantage. Any attempt at accountability is met with, "Why are you being so hard on me? Don't you know what I'm going through?" Why this works? Most people have a natural desire to protect those who seem vulnerable. When someone consistently presents as a victim, it triggers our protective instincts. We want to help and support them, making it difficult to hold them accountable or set boundaries because it feels like kicking someone when they're down. Healthy response strategies. Recognize the pattern. Notice if someone consistently blames external factors while rarely taking personal responsibility. Distinguish support from enabling. Offer genuine comfort for real hardships while distinguishing them from self-created drama or responsibility avoidance. Ask empowering questions. Instead of rescuing, ask, "What role did you play in this?" Or, "What will you do differently next time?" Set boundaries on shared responsibilities. Don't let victim narratives excuse them from obligations that affect you. I understand you're struggling, but we still need to address this shared responsibility. Pattern 4. Guilt-based pressure, the emotional debt. This tactic makes you feel responsible for someone else's emotional state or happiness, even when their feelings result from your reasonable choices or boundaries. It preys on your desire to be caring and considerate. Example, you make plans with friends. When you mention it, they sigh heavily. "Oh, I guess I'll just be alone again." I was looking forward to spending time together, but your friends are obviously more important. Or, "After everything I've done for you, you can't even do this one small thing for me." The implication is that your choice is causing them pain or that you're ungrateful. Why this works? People who care about others naturally want to avoid causing disappointment. We often feel deeply responsible for the well-being of those we love. Guilt trips exploit this sense of duty, making us fear we're being selfish or uncaring if we don't constantly accommodate their wishes. Healthy response strategies. Recognize guilt-inducing language. Notice phrases like, "After all I've done, I guess you don't care," or "you always." These are red flags. Separate your actions from their reactions. You're responsible for your choices, not for their emotional response to your reasonable choices. Communicate clearly. State your decisions calmly without excessive apologizing or explanation. Remember, your right to personal needs, having your own plans, needs, and boundaries is healthy, not selfish. Pattern 5. Love as leverage, the affection test. This involves framing requests or demands as tests of love or commitment. If you really cared about me, you would. It makes refusing feel like rejecting the person entirely. Example: you're busy with work, and they want immediate help with something non-urgent. When you explain you're swamped, they respond, "If you really loved me, you'd make time no matter what." Or regarding an expensive purchase, "If you truly cared about my happiness, you wouldn't deny me something that would make me feel special." Why this works? This directly challenges our desire to be loving partners. When our affection is questioned based on specific actions, it creates pressure to comply to prove our love. We don't want to be seen as uncaring, so we often give in to avoid the accusation. Healthy response strategies. Recognize emotional blackmail. When you hear, "if you really loved me," or variations, identify it as pressure tactic. Separate love from compliance. Your love isn't measured by fulfilling every request. My love isn't conditional on doing everything you ask. Don't argue the premise. Don't accept that your love is lacking. That's not fair. My love isn't based on this one situation. Reaffirm, while maintaining boundaries. I do love you, and because I care about our relationship, I need to be honest about my current capacity. Pattern 6, shame-based control, the competence attack. This involves using shame, ridicule, or subtle insults to undermine confidence and push compliance. It attacks your sense of competence or worth to make you more likely to give in. Example: you're working on a household project that isn't going perfectly. They might sigh and say, "Is that really how you're going to do it?" My father could fix anything in 5 minutes. I guess not everyone is naturally handy. The goal isn't helpful feedback. It's to make you feel inadequate, so you'll seek their approval. Why this works? Most people's identity includes their competence and capability. When these are attacked, especially by someone whose opinion we value, it can be devastating. We want to avoid being seen as incompetent, so we might comply or overcompensate to regain their approval. Healthy response strategies. Recognize the intent. Understand that the comment isn't really about your performance. It's an attempt to control through shame. Don't internalize. Their opinion doesn't define your worth or competence. Your value comes from within. Address it directly. "That sounds like criticism designed to make me feel bad." Is that your intention? Set boundaries on disrespect. I won't tolerate being spoken to disrespectfully. Please address concerns constructively. Pattern 7. Weaponized vulnerability. The fragility performance. This involves exaggerating fragility or distress to avoid responsibilities or control situations. It's different from genuine struggles. It's using perceived vulnerability as a tool for control. Example: every time you try to discuss important topics or make plans that don't include them, they suddenly feel unwell or claim to have anxiety attacks. They may agree to get help, but then find endless excuses to avoid it. They constantly discuss their struggles, demanding emotional support, but make no genuine effort to improve because their fragility effectively controls your time and attention. Why this works? Most people naturally want to protect and care for those who seem vulnerable. When someone presents as extremely fragile, it can trigger strong protective instincts. We become afraid that if we don't constantly accommodate their perceived fragility, we'll be abandoning them in their time of need. Healthy response strategies. Distinguish genuine need from manipulation. If there are real mental health issues, professional help is essential. But distinguish between genuine struggles and the weaponization of those struggles. Offer solutions, not just sympathy. Instead of endless emotional support, redirect to action. What steps are you taking to address this? Have you contacted the therapist we discussed? Maintain appropriate boundaries. You're a partner or friend, not a mental health professional. I want to support you, but I'm not equipped to handle this alone. You need professional help. Protect your own well-being. If their claimed fragility constantly drains you or prevents you from living your life, set clear boundaries. I care about you, but I can't cancel my plans every time you feel anxious. I'll check in later. This information might feel overwhelming or uncomfortable. That's normal. Growth often happens in discomfort. This isn't about creating paranoia or distrust. It's about developing awareness and skills to maintain healthy boundaries, respond thoughtfully rather than reactively. Build relationships based on mutual respect. Protect your own well-being while still being caring. Your natural compassion and desire to help others are wonderful qualities. But when you're aware of how these can be exploited, you can use them more wisely. A person who understands these dynamics and maintains healthy boundaries doesn't just build a stronger life for themselves. They create space for healthier relationships with everyone around them. Don't let anyone undermine your reality, your boundaries, or your right to be treated with respect. Stand firm in your values while remaining open to genuine connection and mutual growth. Remember, healthy relationships involve mutual respect, shared responsibility, and honest communication. Both people should feel heard, valued, and able to express their needs without manipulation or coercion. If this content provided valuable insights, subscribe if you haven't already. Join our community focused on personal growth and healthy relationships. Like this content to help it reach others who might benefit. Share it with someone who might find these insights helpful. In the comments, let me know. Which of these patterns have you encountered? What strategies work best for you? Let's learn from each other's experiences. Stay aware, stay strong, and keep building the healthy, fulfilling life you deserve.